A lot of people don't like her.
Come in. Team, we're doing it again. Team.
She's got a big mouth. She talked trash.
I know this point has been made, but this truly is the worst casting, maybe in the history of the film industry.
She believed that they would safeguard her, but fans are now claiming that, based on an increasing number of reports and industry leaks, Rachel Zegler may have been duped by her own agent. The same talent representative that assisted Rachel in negotiating a Evita contract might be the one to put her in a situation that could ruin her career. It's more important to consider what's inside the leaked deal than just the deal itself.
Wait. She's framing this as people not wanting her to win?
Oh boy. Okay, she's getting emotional in this clip, but also passive-aggressive.
See, she's kind of cute, but once she starts talking, it's just so fake. There's so many of them.
According to sources, Rachel's contract contained an extremely unusual $5 million conduct clause that was intended to penalize her financially for any actions that damaged the show's reputation. When Rachel's backstage conflicts went viral, the clause allegedly triggered, but this is where things get suspicious because fans think her agent was aware of the clause from the beginning and pushed the deal through anyhow.
In case you were wondering, no, that has absolutely nothing to do with the new Snow White movie that Rachel Zegler has been cast for, the one that she's been hating on online for the past couple of months that people have been talking about. This is just a huge attempt by her PR team to make her seem like she's apologetic and the things that she's said about the upcoming film coming out. Don't believe it.
Even worse, there are now rumors that someone close to her camp or with access may have given the press the details of that clause, and all evidence points to her own team attempting to pull away before the damage spread. As a result, the question now isn't what Rachel did, but rather who put her in this predicament in the first place, because if this betrayal theory is accurate, Rachel Zegler may be fighting not only producers, but also the people who are meant to support her.
Add fuel to the Rachel Zegler Oscar fiasco. But why did they have these women, all Disney princesses, all stated as Disney princesses, come out to present, but like not include Rachel Zegler, who's going to be Snow White? They're clearly acknowledging Disney princesses from movies that have not been released yet. Someone must have had this conversation and then they purposely left her out, even though she was the only one with a hit movie this year of the four. Did anyone else notice this, or am I overthinking?
Long before the backlash, leaks, and meltdowns at the time, Rachel Zegler signed what many now consider to be a career contract. It seemed like the ideal chance to land a legendary role on Broadway, to silence critics, and to demonstrate her command of the stage. Evita wasn't just another job, it was meant to be her comeback, but new reports claim the deal was rushed through too quickly.
And then, because, you seem to be dominating the world of musicals, you're doing Evita in London, right?
Big Andrew Lloyd Webber fan right over there.
Is that your dad whistling?
Yeah. You guys see Stanley Tucci back there?
That'll be fun, huh?
It's going to be the best time. It's my West End debut. I'm so excited.
You've done a lot of Broadway.
Yeah, I did Shakespeare for 20 weeks. I'm coming off of that right now.
20 weeks of Shakespeare.
That's a lot.
Do they say, like, the audiences in England are different than the American audience?
I've heard they're more reserved, and I certainly didn't have a very reserved experience on Broadway.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were in a very, an 800-seat theater in the round, so you really are this close to your audience at times, and I'm with the biggest heartthrob.
According to insiders, Rachel had recently returned from a grueling press tour for the Hunger Games prequel, a movie that sparked its own round of controversy. She was emotionally spent juggling press rehearsals and damage control at the same time, so when the Evita deal fell into her lap, her team allegedly jumped on it not just because it was a good fit, but also because it was a strategic diversion that could move the focus away from Snow White and onto something respectable. However, now people are claiming it was a trap hiding in plain sight.
I just want to say, in my personal life, I intend to move forward with a lot more grace for myself as I grow. There is a lot that I don't know, and I won't know it until I learn it, until I feel it, until I understand it, until I can see it in my hands and say, I am not broken, I am just learning. My break is not my end.
Fans and legal experts are wondering who allowed her to sign this. Why didn't her team fight for better terms? and how they failed to see the risk because the fine isn't the only shocking part. Someone had to read that clause and let it through. Industry rumors state that the contract included a clause that most actors her age and status would never agree to, reportedly worth up to $5 million tied to reputational harm or on-set disruption.
Rachel Zegler's career is over. Let's face it, Rachel Zegler has no one to blame for this but herself. I mean, she clearly doesn't know that she's talking about more than half the country at this point, right? People that she needs to go out and see her movies. But
her career is currently taking off, and she has gone viral for all the wrong reasons. That clause, which she allegedly didn't see coming, is prominent in every headline, but the real drama isn't what she signed. Rather, it's who allowed her to sign it in the first place, and what's about to come to light could permanently ruin that relationship. Either her agent didn't understand what was buried in that legal fine print, or worse, they did and pushed her forward anyhow.
She's making it seem like it's our fault that we hate her. It's not our fault that we don't like you. That's your own doing, and owning up to what the wrong that you did should not involve making the audience feel like you're wrong for feeling that way and you're making me feel bad. No, if you want to say that your break will not end you or something like that, then look like it, sound like it. You know, just do not act like you're a victim. It's part of the business. It's Hollywood, baby.
Although there were whispers of stress and early Evita rehearsals going awry, Rachel Zegler's team first seemed composed. Her camp remained silent, with no statements or damage control, but that silence began to sound calculated.
Mostly because of what the lead actress has been saying to the press. Rachel Zegler has been described as a walking PR disaster for Disney's. We've heard her bag the classic story before, but there's more.
Since the first round of Evita leaks surfaced online, anonymous Reddit threads claimed Rachel was at odds with the creative team, missing rehearsals, and annoying cast members. Fans argued whether this was true or just another online smear campaign, but her team offered no explanation, no defense, and no pushback. And in celebrity PR, that kind of silence speaks volumes. According to multiple entertainment insiders, the relationship between Rachel and her team had already started to deteriorate behind the scenes.
Now, we can all agree that Rachel Zegler as a person isn't the most likable. For someone that was trying to make herself a household name, she did not play her cards right. Did not move with grace or decorum or elegance. So I'm not saying that she doesn't bear any responsibility for what's going on with her right now. She definitely holds at least 80% of it. But she that 20% left, I'm gonna blame that on Gal Gadot. Because hear me out, right? I know too much about women at this point to not recognize a pattern I've seen many times before.
People involved in the matter started to speculate that Rachel's team was purposefully allowing the story to spin because they were already getting ready to distance themselves. Some even think they were attempting to reframe her outburst as a solo meltdown rather than the result of poor management because if they were held accountable for the contract, the rehearsal chaos, and the collapsing public image, not only would their careers be at stake, but also theirs. According to sources, the tipping point was Rachel's now famous moment, the viral moment where she allegedly yelled, "I won't pay" in response to the $5 million clause rumors.
This is the star of the show. What's her name? Rachel Zegler, if I'm not mistaken. Her is like, I'm not trying to say nothing about her looks. I'm just saying she kind of get on my nerves. If I was in the market, I'd be like, I don't know, man. I'm gonna just go ahead and I'd rather just go ahead and watch some paint dry. Let me clean up my garage. Let me clean my bathroom. Let me actually mop the ceiling with a mop or something. I'd rather do that than to listen to that type of activity.
Fans began questioning, where are her people? When what should have been the moment her team stepped in turned out to be a complete blackout with no lawyer, press correction, or statement. Because Rachel was left to defend herself alone in the midst of a storm, and the more she said, the worse it got. At that point, observers started to speculate that perhaps her team wasn't being loyal and were instead keeping quiet to protect themselves, and the theory that her agent might have allowed this to happen on purpose really took off because the next big leak didn't come from a gossip blog, it didn't come from a cast member, and it most definitely didn't come from Rachel. Rather, it came from someone with access who had seen the contract, someone who was close enough to know exactly what clause to leak, and someone who was far enough away to keep their name off it. People immediately began to wonder, Who gave this to the press? Because leaks like this don't just happen. They're timed released for a reason. When fans began to dig, all eyes turned to Rachel's own team, who had everything to gain by getting ahead of the story by leaking the clause before Rachel's emotional reaction by framing the fine as justified by the book enforcement of a deal she agreed to, not a personal attack. And the timing couldn't have been more convenient. Just days earlier, Rachel had been accused of blaming the cast for the Evita disaster. Then her alleged outburst started trending. Then boom, the contract detail drops. It felt too clean, too controlled. And fans noticed a TikTok video with over 3 million views broke it down frame by frame, showing how the leak shifted the narrative from Rachel is being targeted to Rachel signed something and is now mad it's being enforced, even entertainment. Forums like Lipstick Alley and Duma Thread started speculating that the leak was intentional, possibly even crafted by someone in her camp to reshape public perception at her expense. Because here's the thing, if her own agent leaked that clause, it meant they were choosing their reputation over hers. They weren't protecting Rachel, they were protecting themselves. And when fans started to believe that, everything changed, because this wasn't just another PR crisis anymore, it was betrayal from the inside. And if those rumors were true, if the person who helped sign the deal also leaked the trap hidden inside it, then Rachel's glare wasn't just spiraling, she was being systematically dismantled by the very people who built her up. As the theory gained traction, fans did what they always do when the internet smells betrayal. They started digging, and what they found about Rachel's glare's agent